Hi guys, welcome back to Charlotte's Foliage. And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by my channel. I hope you like the plant content that we're going to discuss today, and I hope you will like and subscribe to my channel, and so that you can see more videos that I put out there. And if you have success with a plant and want to share your experience with me, and I can learn from you as well. So let's get into the video. You can't see my face today, you guys, because I'm on the other side of the camera. We're going to be filming outside, and I've had a lot of people ask me questions about, what's the best plant to buy that doesn't require a whole lot of fuss, but yet it looks pretty. You can use it in your office if you like, or you can simply use it in your home. And if you travel a lot, what are some things you can do to make sure that the plant still looks healthy and maintains its looks? So what we're going to do is talk first about what are some plants that are kind of easy to deal with. They call those novice plants, just somebody who's not experienced with planting, but yet they have a desire. So we're going to talk about that. Now I'm going to come in front of the camera so I can show you which plants I'm talking about. This plant here is a sansevieria. A sansevieria is very, very easy to care for. If you give it light, bright, indirect light, she'll grow for you and she'll produce babies like you see here. However, this plant does not require a lot of water. I probably water this plant maybe twice or once a month, because this plant holds water in its stem, okay? So it's really thick, and so it doesn't need a lot of water. This plant can also live in low light. It won't grow as fast, but it will live, okay? The same information that I just gave you about this plant, the one behind it does the same thing. This is a snake plant. It is from the same family. They store their water in their leaves. Now, I like to sit this plant outside during the summer months because it just really grows crazy. And it's got some pups on here. You can also propagate these plants. But this would be a good office plant, and the one that I just showed you would be a good office plant or a home plant that doesn't require a lot of care. You probably can water this plant twice a month and it'll live. I give it just a little bit of water and I don't bother it. This plant can also grow in dark conditions, but it won't grow as fast, okay? Another plant that is really good for first time plant owners is the Pothos. Some people call it a Pothos. This plant can be put in front of a window, giving it bright, indirect light, and it will continue to produce long, leggy growth. But if you cut it, it'll grow more like it is bushy, because what it will do is the more you cut it, the more bushier it'll get. But if you don't cut it, it'll get real leggy. You can take and cut in between this area here and put this pothos in water, and it'll produce more roots and you can have more plants. This is from another plant, and I just simply put all of these leaves in water with their stems, and they produce more plants, and I put them in a pot. So this can be put in an office. This can also be used at home, but it doesn't require a whole lot of care. In fact, this plant can dry all the way out and then you water it, okay? So again, this plant is an easy care plant if you're interested in purchasing a plant that requires very little maintenance. Okay, the next plant, I hardly ever do anything with this plant. This is called a ZZ plant. It has these long, stalky stems that hold water, and then the leaves feel real waxy and thick. This plant can thrive in low light conditions as well, and this plant does not have to be watered until it's completely dried out. They actually did an experiment with this plant and allowed it to stay dry for over a month. It was still alive, but it did not grow because there was not enough light on the plant. So you do need to give this plant light, but light is not required on this plant, okay? So this is a ZZ plant. It can be in your office or it can be in your home and still give you some great care. In fact, this plant you'll see in a lot of businesses. Okay, now another plant that is from the elephant ear family, if you've ever heard of the elephant ear, is an alocasia. This plant right here will continue to put out all kinds of growth for you. I have like 4 or 5 of them, and it's called an alocasia. They like to have their feet wet, so they require a little bit more care, but you can sit it outside and just make sure that you don't let it get too dry. If the soil is 2 inches down dry, then you want to go ahead and water it, and it'll continue to produce huge leaves for you the more light you give it, okay? And then these plants, because they have such a large calyx, it's a kind of like a root ball, they have to be replanted every year because they continue to produce new growth for you. And they're beautiful plants, and that's, like I said, some people plant them in their yard, and most people plant them in pots. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see my big one. It's right over there. Let's see if you can see that. I have a large one right there, and it produces huge leaves. Okay, so yeah, that's from the same family as the alocasia. That one that I have in my driveway is called a colocasia. Okay, so yeah, these are some plants that are going to give you some excellent growth and keep your house looking great. And also, plants take toxins out of the air and produce oxygen in the air, okay? So one plant that I haven't showed you that also too, like this alocasia, this is a monstera, and this plant will push out so much growth for you. It's unbelievable. But when it does grow, I like to cut it back so to produce more growth. I cut it today because it was over this moss pole, and I need to water this moss pole. It's a little bit wet, but it's not wet enough. But this plant will push out new growth, and this plant, once it's 2 inches down dry, then you will need to go ahead and water it because it doesn't like to have its feet wet. So we're going to give it some water today. But yes, this plant is a crawler, so you can train it to grow up the stem, up a pole, or you can train it to just go crawl. It'll crawl up. Some people let them crawl up their walls. But yeah, this plant is a beauty, and like I said, she will grow and grow and grow for you and continue to push out new growth. So I just wanted to get in here today, like I said, and show you guys some plants and what kind of care that they need. You should try growing your first plant and get you something that doesn't require a lot of work, and then work your way up from there. I've been learning a lot about plants, and I enjoy talking to others about plants. So I hope you guys will come back to my channel and continue to watch plant content, and have yourself a fantastic evening. And we all look forward to tomorrow. And to talk more about plants. So come back. Bye.